Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 4 Chicago Fire characters we'd love to see return for cameos in 2025. Chicago Fire is going to be bringing back Wallace Bowden, Eamon Walker. We're pretty stoked. It's been a long wait to get to the former 51 chief, and he will be returning at a pretty critical time in the Dom Pascal, Dermot Mulroney, tenure. Pascal is not dealing with the trauma of his wife's death in a particularly healthy manner, and Bowden will all but certainly notice. Bowden's return got us thinking about all the Chicago Fire characters who have come and gone over the years, the ones who haven't died on the job and simply decided to move on to different places and chapters in their lives. We decided to jot down the characters who we'd like to see return for a cameo, in an effort to manifest it actually happening. Jason Pelham, Brett Dalton, did not spend a lot of time on Chicago Fire, but he left a big impression. Even when other characters doubted his leadership abilities, they came around and realized that the veteran firefighter was a straight shooter. Pelham transferred to another firehouse so that Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, could become a 51 lieutenant, which means he's never far away. Pelham has briefly popped up since his official exit from the show, but frankly, we'd love to see him return in 2025 for a new case. Maybe he can be drawn into the action much in the same way that Jack Damon, Michael Bradway, did when the latter saved a life at Molly's Pub. We figured it'd be cheating to list both Sylvie Brett, Cara Kilmer, and Matt Casey, Jesse Spencer, on this list, so we decided to just go with the former. Our reasoning? Well, Brett has become a mother in the time since she's left the show, and she would have a lot of advice to dispense to Stella Kidd, who's about to become a mom herself. We know they keep in touch, based on the text Brett sent Kidd in the season 12 final. Then there's Violet Hanako Greensmith. Brett and Violet were a quintessential Chicago Fire duo as medics, and it would be great for Brett to see how the latter has matured and taken on the mentor role that she once held. Plus, we get the feeling Brett and Novak, Jocelyn Houdin, would hit it off. We really thought Blake Gallo, Alberto Rosende, was going to stick around for the long haul. The character was set up to be Casey's successor in both skill and spirit, but the character decided to move to Michigan in season 12 to be closer to his family. Hey, we can't knock it. We would like to see Gallo make a trip back to the Windy City to visit some old friends though. It doesn't have to be a full-on return. Gallo dropping by 51, catching up with Violet and Darren Ritter, Daniel Cure, and providing an update on his life would be more than enough for fans, especially since the character's arc felt as though it was a little cut short the first time around. Violet has been going through it as of late anyway, and a familiar face might be helpful. A curveball. Katie Nolan, Brittany Curran, was never a main cast member on Chicago Fire, but her relationship with half-brother Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, made for some fascinating family drama during the show's second season. Nolan returned for a one-off season 7 episode, proving that she can make an impact with a standalone appearance. The reason Nolan comes to mind is that Severide has since learned about the existence of his half-brother, the aforementioned Jack Damon. Would kill to see all 3 half-siblings in the room together, especially since Damon has voiced the ways in which he felt isolated as a kid. Plus, Severide is about to become a dad. What better time to bring the family together? As Chicago Fire blazes through its latest season, longtime fans can't help but reminisce about the characters who made Firehouse 51 feel like a second home. While some beloved faces have moved on, 2025 could be the perfect year for a few of them to return for a well-deserved cameo. Whether to tie up loose ends, stir up old drama, or simply drop in for a nostalgic visit, these 4 characters would make thrilling guest appearances on the show. 1. Gabby Dawson, Monica Raymond. Gabby Dawson's departure left a hole in the hearts of Chicago Fire fans. She was a force of nature, passionate, fearless, and always ready to fight for what she believed in. Although she left for Puerto Rico to pursue humanitarian work, her connection to Casey and Firehouse 51 has never truly faded. Imagine a 2025 cameo where Gabby returns to Chicago on a short trip and crosses paths with the team. Maybe she's brought back for a special fire department initiative, or perhaps she finds herself in the middle of a high-stakes rescue alongside her former crew. A run-in with Matt Casey, if he's around, could also stir up some lingering emotions. Have they fully moved on? Is there unfinished business? A brief return by Gabby could be both heartwarming and bittersweet, giving fans the closure they've longed for. 2. Matt Casey, Jesse Spencer. Speaking of Matt Casey, his departure from Firehouse 51 was one of the most emotional in recent memory. After leaving Chicago to take care of the Darden Boys in Oregon, Casey's presence has been missed. Though he's returned for special occasions before, 2025 could bring another well-timed appearance. Picture this. A crisis arises that requires Casey's expertise, perhaps a complex arson case with ties to his past. Or maybe his best friend Severide finds himself in trouble, and Casey swoops in for backup. His camaraderie with Chief Bowden, Herman, and the rest of the squad would make for some heartfelt moments. And of course, fans would love to see what's happening between him and Brett. A cameo that gives us insight into their relationship status would be a major win. 3. Otis, Yuri Sardarov. The loss of Brian Otis Zvonsek remains one of the most devastating in Chicago Fire history. His absence is still felt at Firehouse 51, where his memory is honored and cherished. But what if Otis returned in a dream, a flashback, or even as a hallucination to one of his grieving friends? Joe Cruz, who was closest to Otis, could be struggling with a major decision, perhaps about fatherhood, his role at 51, or even a dangerous call. Just when he needs guidance the most, Otis appears in a poignant dream sequence, reminding him of the lessons he's learned. It would be a touching tribute to their bond and a beautiful way for the show to acknowledge that no one is ever truly gone from Firehouse 51. 4. Shay, Lauren German. Another tragic loss in Chicago Fire history. Leslie Shay's passing in Season 3 still haunts fans. As one of the show's original paramedics, she brought humor, loyalty, and a deep friendship with Severide that remains unmatched. A 2025 cameo could bring her back in a unique way. Maybe Severide, going through a rough patch, stumbles upon an old video or letter from Shay that reignites his motivation, or perhaps in a high-stress rescue, he momentarily sees her presence reminding him to trust his instincts. Given their history, a ghostly yet comforting visit from Shay would be an emotional gut punch that fans would love. A 2025 reunion to remember. These characters were integral to Chicago Fire's success, and seeing them return, even briefly, would be a treat for longtime viewers. Whether in the flesh or through memories, their presence would reignite the magic of Firehouse 51 and remind us why this show continues to burn bright.